Hello and welcome to another episode of The Blend. I'm your host, Angie Guajardo. This week's show focuses on a different mix of music and art. We show you a clip from one of the bands which played at the last Blues on the Hill event. We also went to an art exhibit in Brownsville which had the color blue as their theme. We introduced you to a new and young local band named Adios Pluto, and we had a sit-down interview with photographer Chris Jordan, who has his latest exhibit at the International Museum of Art and Science. There's plenty on this show to keep you on your seat, so don't move and we'll see you back here on The Blend. Blues on the Hill just ended last month, and it ended on a good note. During this last event, a band named Baby Atlas played, and here's one of their songs so you can enjoy.
It's another original called All We Are. 2 more steps will get me there, and all I do is try. But every day has another way to let it all slip by. You know we're not here long, soon we'll be gone. It goes on and on, and on, that's all we are, straight from the ground. And it took some time to realize that all we have is now. And I think it's time that we leave behind the stones that pull us down. You know we're not here long, soon we'll be gone. It goes on and on, and on, that's all we are, straight from the ground. Even stars fall, and all, so we are. Even stars fall, and all, so we are. You know we're not here long, soon we'll be gone. It goes on and on, and on, that's all we are, straight from the ground. Chris Ariano. That's all we are, straight from the ground. That's all we are, straight from the ground. That's all we are. Y'all give it up for Chris.
Although Blues on the Hill is already over, as I mentioned, you can always find out about upcoming events going on in Harlingen. Just look us up on our Facebook page under VTX TV. We took our cameras to the last exhibit at Galleria 409 out in Brownsville, which focused on the color blue. Owner Mark Clark explained to us why he chose this as the ongoing theme, and we got to talk to some of the other artists which had some of their paintings on exhibit.
Blue is the most popular color in America right now, according to recent surveys. So I thought, well, why not have a popular blue show?
We're at Galleria 409 here in Brownsville for the show called Blue. And it's a 5th anniversary show for this gallery.
Got a pretty decent turnout with blue as a theme. It can be either a color, it can be a mood.
El título de la pintura es Peces y Rostros. Mis cuadros casi siempre son historias o ideas que tengo sobre la realidad.
This is my painting entitled Water and Diamonds for You. Just a poetic type of approach to a title.
I did get a good selection all across the board. Representational, abstract, totally non-objective. And I think I even got some surrealism here someplace. Yeah, but enjoy the show.
When we come back, we introduce you to Adios Pluto, a 4-man band out of San Benito.
Harlingen Medical Center is redefining the way healthcare is delivered throughout the Rio Grande Valley. The Radiology Services Department at Harlingen Medical Center offers amazing technology that's revolutionizing the diagnosis component in healthcare. Our state-of-the-art facility offers a full range of diagnostic imaging services on an inpatient and outpatient basis.
This is a 64-slide CT scanner. It provides faster images, allows better image quality, a lot different than your traditional CT scanner.
Our team of caregivers is here to offer patients dedicated and compassionate care while affording all patients the personal attention they expect and deserve. At Harlingen Medical Center, we treat you like family.
Adios Pluto is a band made up of 4 San Benito friends who all share a love for music. It is due to their musical chemistry and their catchy sound that has made their music popular over a short period of time. Here's what they had to say about their beginnings.
My name is Gracia Morales III. I play drums.
My name is Trey Martinez. I play guitar.
My name is Paul Hernandez. I play bass.
My name is Leo Gonzalez. I play harmonica. No, I'm joking. I play guitar.
We play, I guess, just straight up rock and roll. We've been playing for about a little over 2 months together. How did we meet?
Me and Gas were previously in a band for about like 2.5 years, maybe like 3. And that's how he and I met. Senior year in high school, a friend asked us to be in a band. We had never met each other before. We actually didn't like each other for a while either. But we put that aside or whatever. We joined the band.
I guess, like, to me, I had been playing in a band with Paul for, you know, we had been trying to start something for a long time. We had been writing music together for about, you know, 4 or 5 months. And to me, this is my musical life partner right here. Hopefully, I'll always be in a band.
We make harmony. That's musical harmony.
Beautiful music together. We made a few originals, and now we're up to about a 14-song set list. And everything's been going great. We've been playing a lot of shows. We've been having a great time together.
Ever since I was a kid, you know, I loved like 90s R&B and a lot of random stuff like that. I don't even know why. And then 6th grade, I got my first guitar. I didn't play for like a year because I hated it, because I wasn't able to play anything. I hated it so much. And then like a year later, I came back to it. I started teaching myself little by little, but it didn't really take off until maybe freshman year of high school. I joined mariachi.
I started my 6th grade year playing drums. I started playing the drum set when I was 14, so yeah.
I guess, like Leo, I've liked different kinds of music my whole life. I mean, maybe not Celine Dion, like his favorite here, but from there, my dad bought me my first guitar when I was maybe, you know, 10 years old, and you know, I hated it so much. I never knew how to play it. It was so difficult for me, and he would always try to teach me, and I was like blowing him off, you know. Until finally, you know, I like the music I listened to, you know, had a lot of guitar, and I started to pick it up, and from there I transitioned to bass. And I guess music has been in my life since, you know, since I was a kid. My uncle's playing a Tejano band, and I played with Trey in a bunch of bands, so we've been together a long time.
Yeah, we played together, me and Paul have been together since high school. He's been one of my best friends since we were really young. But I guess with me, I grew up in a very musical household. All my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, they all play instruments or they sing or something. So, you know, I started playing music very young. My parents started me off playing in church. At a Pentecostal church in Harlingen. So I got my start off in Christian music. From there, it just led to other things, other instruments. I started playing the conjunto accordion, even though I don't speak Spanish. I have a very difficult time. I started mixing a lot of jazz with the conjunto music, and I started moving over to harmonica and other things. So I guess if you hear our music, you can kind of hear a lot of the different influences in our sound.
If you want to know more about Adios Pluto and their upcoming gigs, you can look them up on their Facebook page, where you can also order their CDs and their shirts. The International Museum of Art and Science hosted Chris Jordan's Running the Numbers exhibit, which focuses on digital images of statistics here in America. We got to sit down with the photographer where he told us more about this interesting exhibit.
My name's Chris Jordan, and this is my exhibit called Running the Numbers. I started off with photography as a high schooler. My dad was a photographer and my mom's a painter, so I sort of come from a family of artists, and I got really interested in photography in high school and have been pretty much ever since then. As I was growing up, I wanted to be a full-time photographer, but I didn't have the courage to take the risk of failing as an artist. So I went to law school and became a corporate lawyer for quite a few years. And it took me until I was almost 40 to gain the courage to take the risk of doing what I love full-time. All the years I was a lawyer, I thought the biggest fear in my life was my fear of failing if I left and tried to be a photographer. And that fear just like ruled my life. But there's something about getting near the age of 40 that a much bigger, much scarier fear appeared on the horizon, and that's my fear of not living my life. And when I started connecting with that, then I realized the risk of leaving the legal field and being an artist full-time, the risk of failing was, it didn't seem nearly so scary. So I made the leap. For quite a few years, I had been taking photographs that were just about beauty, and they're kind of abstract images about beauty. And it wasn't until after I left my law job that I started making photographs that felt more relevant culturally. And so I started this series that was about taking photographs of giant piles of the things we waste. So I travel around and make photographs of giant piles of garbage and giant piles of discarded cell phones and giant piles of crushed cars and things like that. And as a commentary on our mass consumption. And that kind of led me into this series that I call Running the Numbers. What happened for me is as I was doing this photographic project of just taking straight photographs of huge piles of garbage and huge piles of discarded computers and so on, what I was trying to do and what I was really interested in at the time is to convey the scale of our mass consumption. And at the time I was reading all about our mass consumption and reading about the hundreds of millions of computers we throw out and hundreds of millions of cell phones that we discard. And I was standing in front of these piles that were the biggest piles of that stuff that I could find anywhere. I would travel specifically to a place that processes and shreds computers, and they would have maybe 10,000 computers or 50,000 cell phones or whatever. So I would take a photograph of this much smaller number of things, and I was realizing I'm not really showing the scale of our mass consumption. I'm showing just like a tiny little piece of it. And so I had the idea, like, I'm willing to travel anywhere to photograph the Grand Canyon of our waste, wherever that is. And of course, it didn't take me long to realize there is no such place. It's like our waste is spread out over millions of different locations. It's never all collected in the same place. So even if you want to stand in front of the cumulative effects of our culture, there's nowhere you can go and see it. And as a photographer, that was frustrating to me because I want to make a visual image that captures that. And so that's kind of what led me into this idea of making digital constructions that show the actual quantities of the things we consume. It's a way to connect with these issues more deeply, because I think we've become disconnected from our culture and from these profoundly important things that characterize our world. And I don't think that it's because we're bad people or we're unfeeling people or something like that. It's just the nature of the information that we're receiving is so abstract. You know, we read an article about like 1.2 billion people in the world lack access to safe drinking water. And we're like, wow, that's a lot. And then we just go right on to whatever the next thing is. Like the number 1.2 billion people, most of whom are women and children, like that number is so huge. It's far beyond our ability to comprehend. You know, we can only comprehend numbers a few hundred or a few thousand, like really comprehend and feel a number only that small. And so when we're reading numbers in the hundreds of millions or the billions, we can't comprehend it. And if we can't comprehend the statistic, that's all we've got to try to relate to the issue. And if we can't comprehend it, then we can't feel anything about it. And if we can't feel anything about these issues, about the destruction of our environment, about the extinction of species, you know, these incredibly important issues, if we can't feel them, then it's no wonder we're not acting. The Running the Numbers exhibit will be up at IMAS until sometime in January, so there's a few months to come and see it. And the one thing I hope people would understand is that kids really get this work. I just love it when school children or, you know, kids come through and see this work, because they have this ability to comprehend scale. And I think they've just evolved like one step beyond people who are my age. And I just love it when kids come in and like they walk up close and they're like, wow, look how many aluminum cans, and they put their fingers up and touch them. Look how many prison uniforms. But then they're also learning something really important about their culture that might help them choose their future.
Running the Numbers is still on display at the museum if you would like to check it out. And with that, we finish up this episode of The Blend. Hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see this episode again or pass it on to one of your friends, you can always look up this and all of our older episodes on Facebook under VTX TV. Go on our page and like us so we can like you more, but in real life. Okay, well, we'll see you on the next episode of The Blend.